Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Samantha here saying a big hello, and I hope you're all doing okay. Thanks for sticking by me and sticking with me on these silly little tutorials and bits of fun that we go through here, and snoring dogs and all of the things that go with it. Yes, you snoring, Glory? Yeah, he's snoring a little bit today. So as promised, the competition is now closed for the giveaway that I was running to celebrate 10,000 subscribers. This is the cute little mini set that's up for grabs. Aren't these lovely? Perfect for the garden. And even I've got really big hands, and they're superb in my hands. Okay, and they're from a company called PTL Prestige, which I really enjoy, and they're really well priced. Okay, not an ad or anything, I just really like their products. So stick with me in the end of the video when I'll be announcing who's won. But today we're going to be making these beautiful triangular drop earrings with these gorgeous Delica beads. Okay, so I know there's lots and lots of us have got all sorts of beads in our huge stashes, and here are a few of the colours that I've got. I've got such a huge collection. I may put a little bit of a look at how many beads I've got later on in the video, just so we can compare, and hopefully I'm not the one with the hugest stash. So today we're going to make these little guys, okay? So stick around and we'll go through a list of products in a second, okay? So for the frame of these guys, you're going to need some 1mm, that's 18 gauge copper wire, or indeed any wire of your choosing. You're also going to need some 0.4, that's 26 gauge copper wire to do the wire wrapping. Okay. You will need some, well, I'm using my 6-step bail making pliers. You can use your round nose pliers if you're okay with those. You'll need your obligatory ever-present chain nose pliers, which I know we've all got pairs of. You also need some flush cutters for the obvious reasons. Okay. You will need some jump rings, okay, just for the top of your earring, if that's how you choose to finish your earring off. So I'm using 5mm jump rings that I've made out of 1mm copper wire. You'll also need a Sharpie or a marker. It doesn't have to be a Sharpie, but a marker pen and a ruler, because we're just going to be doing a slight touch of measuring in this one, just to get the angles correct. Okay. And last but not least, you're going to need some of your wonderful Delica beads. Today I'm going to be using these guys. I think I've chosen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I've chose 5 colours that I think go together quite nicely. Okay, so if you want to grab out all of your materials, and we'll get started on making these cute little earrings. Okay, so I'll see you in a second. Right, so we're back, and I'll give you a heads up, guys. My little dog Glory is in the room with me today, so if you can hear any snoring, it's not me. It's my little old guy who's 12 and a half, and he's nice and warm, and he wants a little snooze. So if you can hear him, apologies. Okay, so we want to flush cut the end as usual. Okay, and each one of the components that we need to make today, which looks like this, takes 8 centimeters of wire. Okay, so we need to measure out 2 lengths of 8 centimeter wire. Now I suggest you do these together, because obviously with them being earrings, we want them to be pretty much exactly the same size. Okay, so we'll measure 2 lengths of 8 centimeters. Okay, so I'll get rid of those. Right, so to make these earrings the same size, you know, with the angle correct here, we're going to have to do a little bit of measuring. So take your length of wire, straighten it out. Okay, and with your marker pen, you want to be marking 3.5 centimeters along the length of the wire. Obviously, I know you guys in the States and other places use inches, but obviously with me being European, I tend to use centimetres. So I hope you guys can follow this along in the centimetres. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.5, and just mark it with a little black spot there. And the same from the other end, okay? So 1, 2, 3.5. Okay, so we've got 2 little black marks on our wire here, and that should be a centimetre in length, the distance between the 2 black spots, okay? So we'll pop that away. So in order to make these, just move this out of the way for now. We want to be bending the wire so that we make a triangular shape, okay? So place your chain nose pliers just where the black spot starts, okay? And bend away from you, like so, okay? Move your plier along, and again, just where the black spot starts, move your plier, move your wire around your plier and away from you. Okay, so we need to just faff around with this until things are nice and straight and equal, so that the angles are the same, and it's an equilateral triangle. I think that's what they call them. I could be wrong. No, I am wrong. Anyway, you know what I mean. So that when you look at it, these side bits are equal angles. You may find that you've got a tiny little bit at the top. We just snip that off. Okay, so we're left with this kind of shape. So come in with the first step on your plier, or indeed if you're using your round nose, that's fine, and place your plier thus, so that the wire is right at the end, and bend a hoop round in the direction of the wire, and do the same with the other. Okay, just bend your wire around so that we have this here. Okay, so we'll come in with our chain nose, and we just want to bend these loops just slightly towards us, like so. Okay, so that's and then just straighten things up if you need to a little bit. You can tweak all of this towards the end after you've finished wrapping your wire. So this is what we have. Okay, so that's our frame made. So when you're making both of them together, just sit one on top of the other, just to make sure that they are the same size and that you're happy with the shape and everything. Okay, so that's that done. So I'll just pop these out of the way. The next thing we want to do is we want to start to wrap our little Delica beads around the frame. Now, Delica beads, by their nature, they're not all exactly the same size or shape. So when you're doing this, just use your judgment and, pick out the ones that are suitable to fit in the form. Okay, so you might find that you have 8 at the bottom of this one, but only 7 on the bottom of this one, because, they're all a little bit different, aren't they, these tiny little beads? So don't worry too much about the counts. Just make sure that the beads fit within the frame. The overall look of the earring when you're wearing it, you won't be able to tell the difference. So that's just a tip for you. So we need to come in with our 0.4mm wire, I believe that to be 26 gauge. And I'm going to suggest you use possibly, let's just have a think. I'm going to say about 30 centimetres, about 12 inches, just to be on the safe side. Now, on my channel, I always say better to have too much and have a little bit of extra left rather more than get right to the end and you've got none left at all. And it's really frustrating because you have to add wire, and I hate adding wire, don't you? Okay, so we've got our wire. I'm just going to bring in my tiny little mucky, well-used bead board, because these little beads are so tiny and they are going to go everywhere. So forgive how this looks on screen, because it's well used is this little bead board. And then put out your collection of beads in their little groups here. Okay, so we know what we're doing. So we need to first of all anchor the 0.4 wire onto the frame. Okay, so I'll just shift that out of the way for a second so we can see what we're doing. Actually, I'll just move that until we're ready for the beads. Thinking about it. There we go. So I'm right-handed, so I do it this way round. So obviously just however you feel comfortable. I pop the wire atop the frame and pull it through. And this is where I come in with my tiny little pliers because of my arthritic hands. So pull through and over, up and through and over, and squeeze things in together. I do 3 wraps at the bottom. Okay, so that you have this. So this is when we're ready to put on our first set of beads, which I will replicate so we have a matching pair. So let me come in with the bead board, and hopefully you can still, it'll still focus on what I'm doing down here and not on the bead board. So let's hope it works. So let's have a look. Okay, so take your wire and pop on a few of these beautiful Delica beads, which I think are a really, really pretty bead. I love the shape of them. Okay, so just put on what you think will fit and pop it down onto your wire. I think that's probably one too many. Yeah, so you just mess about with the counts here, guys, and just see what fits inside the frame. And if you're happy, which I am. Now, one tip to tell you here, that as we're wrapping, you're doing it in like a under over type of effect. So I'll just show you. You will find that your beads will have a little bit of undulation and texture to them. Now, I really like that, so I leave it as that is. There are various ways in which you can wrap beads that don't do that. So you use 2 wires, round and round and round and round, so that they're all facing the same way. You know, they're all atop or underneath. But for the purposes of this, what you do when you pop your beads on is just use your nail and gently tap or squeeze the wire so that it's in between the frame lengths here. You do the same here, so you just literally bend your wire so that it just fits in. You'll know what I mean when you do it yourself. So keeping hold of your beads here, take your wire and wrap round the back and through. Okay, so round the back and over the top and through. Okay, so that you'll find that you have your beads in place like so. Okay, hope you can see all that. Okay, so turn your frame over and squeeze your little bits of wire together. So we're now ready to come around the back. So again, squeeze the wire just around so that it sits within the frame as best as you can. So what colour do we go for now? Right, okay, so it's these guys here. So again, take your beads. Like I always say, talk amongst yourselves. Whilst I'm putting these on, maybe I'll put a little bit of elevator music on whilst I'm doing this bit. Maybe I won't. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got 1 too many. So just pop that last bead off. Okay, so can you see how they fit nicely inside? Again, with your nail, just squeeze the wire inwards so everything fits nicely. And again, holding the beads within the frame and the frame with your finger and your thumb pads firmly. Take your wire around the back and through and pull it tight to anchor it, and then again to anchor it. Okay, so we have 2 wraps and then around back to the front to start again. Okay, so can you see what's happening here? Okay, so let's get the next beads on. I'll use these beautiful sort of very, very pale blush pink. And again, like before, you may not have to use the same amount of beads that you've used on the other earring. Now then, I think we're at the point there where we push that in. Yeah, I think if we put another bead on there, it's going to be too much. So again, push the 0.4mm wire inwards, wrap it around twice, okay, and round the back to start again. At the end, we sort of have a little bit of a squeeze of things so that things fit in nice and neatly. So don't worry too much at this stage. Okay, so the bright red ones are next. So again, pop your little Delica beads on. Ooh, the bird song's beautiful here today. It's we don't really get very many birds in my garden, but they seem to be here today, which is lovely. Okay, so as you can see here, we need another bead to fit everything in nicely. So pop your beads on. Again, with your nail, just pop that wire, push it inwards, so it's inside the frame. Again, holding taut and tight around and through twice so that everything's anchored. All right, and then back round again. So essentially, you just basically do this until it's filled up and it mirrors, the first earring that you've made. Let's have a look. So that's orange, the next one. So what I'll do is I'll just do this row, and you guys can hop off and do the same thing, and we'll meet back when we get to the end and we'll finish the earrings off, okay? So let's just do this one. Again, squeeze with your nails, squeeze the wire in so that everything's nice and secure and neat. Around the back and over, around the back and through and over. Okay. So can you see how we're getting these cute little rows of beads here? Okay, so keep going and work your way upwards until you're happy. Again, sort of decreasing every other or every row or whatever fits in. Just find your pattern and work with your beads until you're happy. And we'll meet back when we get to the top. Okay, so I'll see you in a few. Right, so we're back. How did you get along? I have finished wrapping my beautiful little Delica beads here. So they are all nice and neat and pretty much squished in as far as we can. Okay, can you see? I like to finish mine off with a tiny little copper bead. You can finish off how you like. You can just put one singular Delica up there if you choose to. But I like to come in with a tiny 2mm bare copper bead, just because I think it looks sweet. But again, like I say, you can do whatever you feel like. So I'll come in and pop this tiny little bead on the top to finish things off, like so. And then again, just your final wrap around and around. Squeeze things in with your nail Okay, and then round the back. So this is what we look like at the back. So all you need to do really now is to snip off these 2 wires with your flush cutters. Just make sure everything's nice and neat at the back. So closely snip, and again closely snip that off. And then I just come in with my chain nose and just squeeze and twist and squeeze and twist just to burnish those edges. Squeeze and twist, squeeze and twist. At this stage now you can just have a look at it, make sure everything's nice and straight and you're happy with it all, which I am. I think that looks really, really sweet. Beautiful colour for the summertime, don't you think? Okay, look how gorgeous they are. Beautiful. So the only thing you need to do now is to take your little jump ring. I'm using a 5mm jump ring here, but you can use whatever you like. And literally just come in and close like so. Give that a bit of a squeeze if it's just offset slightly, and that's it. Okay, so that's your jump ring on. And then the last thing to do literally is your ear wire. So open up your ear wire, place that on. Okay, and that's it. Beautiful. I really love these little guys. They're so cute and so delicate in the ear, and I really like the shape of them. Okay, so I hope you enjoy making these guys, and you obviously use up your stash of beads. I'm sure there's lots and lots of Delica beads in our stashes. Okay, so enjoy making those, and I'm going to now show you who has won the competition, the giveaway competition for the beads and the little mini toolkit. So stay tuned and I will show you who's won. And the person that's won, if you could send me a personal message on my email, and I'll get your address and I'll wing these little guys off to you. Just to say a huge thank you for being here with me and for celebrating a lovely 10,000 subscribers, which is amazing, isn't it? Okay, so stay tuned and I'll be back in a second to tell you who's won. Hi everyone, it's Samantha in my living room in the northwest of England saying a big hello, and I just wanted to thank everyone for taking part in the giveaway that we held for celebrating my 10,000 subscriber, which still feels a bit crazy to me. So as you know, we are going to do a bit of a giveaway which closed this evening a couple of hours ago, so I'm going to pick the winner now, okay? So I downloaded a YouTube random comment picker on my phone, so I thought we would do it together so that it's all above board. Okay, so it says fetch, and then it's downloading all of your names. Pick a winner, it says, so let's go ahead and do that together. So it's Deborah Hetzer 1139, who really enjoys watching my tutorials, and that's really, really kind of you. I appreciate every single one of you that's here. So Deborah, send me a quick message to my email, which you will find on my About page, my channel page. We'll have a quick chat and you can tell me where you live, and I will wing these little pretties away to you just as a big thank you. Thanks everyone for taking part, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, so take care of yourselves, guys. Thanks.